There's been a lot of talk about the Toronto Raptors' future over the course of this offseason, but one guy that hasn't been talked about enough is Precious Achiuwa, who is a young budding talent for the Toronto Raptors and is an unrestricted free agent come next offseason. And he's been in the gym training with stars over the course of the summer, so we'll break down the development of Precious Achiuwa and how his sort of contract situation is going to affect the team in coming seasons. Additionally, we have an update from Brian Windhorst regarding a potential trade partner for the Toronto Raptors, and Dennis Schroder apologizing out publicly to Maxi Kleber, a team international teammate. So lots of stuff to break down. Without further ado, let's dive straight in the first topic. And the first thing we're taking a look at is a little update regarding Precious Achiuwa and the fact that he's been training with some stars across the NBA. Now, Precious Achiuwa is a guy that a lot of Raptors fans were hoping for last season would take a major leap forward. And we even heard talks, leading up into the season. It was sort of 2019-esque. Discussions from Nick Nurses of the world, from players around and analysts around the league, saying that Precious Achiuwa has taken a major step and expect him to break out last season. Now, Precious early on in the year definitely didn't take the leap that a lot of Raptors fans were hoping for, but then, it wasn't a huge sample size. It was only a few weeks, but then his season really got derailed with a serious injury that kept him out for most of the first half of the season. Then, if you look at his stats for this most recent season, what he was able to put up, right, 9.2 points per game, 6 rebounds, 27% from the three-point line could definitely be improved upon, but 49% of the field isn't bad. A solid defender, mobile. The handle, it's improving. I know he frustrates a lot of Raptors fans by trying to play a little bit outside his comfort zone, all that type of stuff. But Precious Achiuwa, the skill is there, the talent is there, and he's been putting in some work. He's been putting some work into the gym. It's basically some pics, some video footage has come out regarding Precious Achiuwa training over in Spain with a bunch of other NBA stars. Basically, he's over there training some scrimmages. You can see a picture of them socializing there. Precious Achiuwa, see Donovan Mitchell, Emmanuel Quickly, a few guys, Nick Richards, just chilling, in Spain over there, grinding out. You see Donovan Mitchell making a drive, right? Precious Achiuwa there in the corner. Bismack Biyombo as well as Steven Adams are out there training, working on their games. And it's nice to see Precious Achiuwa sort of put in some work over the course of the off season, because as he's training with better talent, getting some reps up, getting some more running. I mean, we saw an insane leap from the beginning of his Toronto Raptors tenure to heck where it is right now, right? Last season, the development, the growth, we definitely saw some of it, but wasn't the insane leap that Raptors fans were sort of promised going into the year. But Precious Achiuwa having the ability to sort of add more to his game, improve the three-point shooting, right? The shooting just in general, the middies and all that type of stuff, right? It looks like he's working on the jump shot here now, right? He has all the intangibles to be a very extremely valuable player for this Raptors squad, especially now with Jakob Poeltl, allowing Precious not to be forced to play center, be more of a power forward that can oversize the smaller wings, but be too quick for the bigger centers in the NBA. And we saw the potential, right, in the playoffs just a couple seasons ago when Precious Achiuwa went head-to-head directly with Joel Embiid. Obviously, Embiid had the size advantage. Precious Achiuwa is playing out of position, being more of a 4 rather than a 5, but and he had some moments where he really took the big man, the MVP of the league, at least the season prior, season following, right? Took him to task, right? Blown by him, really picked him out. It was sort of the whoever offense on Joel Embiid with Precious Achiuwa. Whenever he got the ball, he was going full head of steam, getting some buckets. So we know the potential's there for Precious Achiuwa, but the interesting situation regarding Achiuwa is the fact that he's an unrestricted free agent following this season. His options have been picked up. He's only getting paid $4 million per year this season, but he's a very interesting guy because 25 years old, has a lot of potential, hasn't been bad, has put up some solid stats, even if he hasn't taken the most insane leap as Raptors fans are hoping. His value out there on the open market is definitely something that's going to be interesting because young, youthful, developing, has had major growth steps years. I don't know. This is a big season for Precious Achiuwa with Darko Rajakovic sort of running the system, running the schemes. Maybe he'll get a little bit more of an opportunity to flex the skills he's training on in the summer. And then that's another big decision the Toronto Raptors have to make because we know Precious Achiuwa is Masai Ujiri is a massive fan of Precious Achiuwa. Talked about how we finally traded for Precious, for Kyle Lowry, for Precious Achiuwa and Goran Dragic. He said to the media, we finally got him. He wanted him in the NBA draft. He's been scouting him for years. So Achiuwa's a fan, or Masai Ujiri's a fan of Precious Achiuwa, and the cost for a guy like that generally isn't cheap. And then come next season where we still haven't seen a Pascal Siakam extension, we still haven't seen an OG Anunoby extension, heck, we haven't seen a Gary Trent Jr. extension, which we were promised come day one of free agency by Chris Haynes. Precious Achiuwa is another guy on that list. And if you have 4 of those players going into unrestricted free agency come next offseason, that could be a very, very messy summer for the Toronto Raptors. So no extensions that seem to be incoming yet for Precious, even though he's grind and trade and all this sort of stuff. But I don't know. It's definitely something to keep your eyes out peeled for, because even Scotty Barnes, who's entering his 3rd year come this season, generally they're following their 3rd year. They're eligible for those max rookie extensions, whatever money they're sort of eligible for. Scotty Barnes is going to be looking for a bag as well. And the Toronto Raptors have to sort of decide a path, figure out a direction on the future, or else things could get messy come next off season. So let me know what you guys think about Precious Achiuwa putting some work in the gym, training with guys like Donovan Mitchell and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully he's able to take a leap next season. But the next thing we're taking a look at is Brian Windhorst reporting on the Atlanta Hawks trade plans. Now, the Atlanta Hawks have been attached to the Toronto Raptors since before this year's NBA draft, right? They've been talking about wanting Pascal Siakam. It feels like immediately after the offseason, or immediately after the playoffs, once the offseason began. And it seemed like some packages were close. DeAndre Hunter's deleting Instagram posts. We got crazy tweets going out. Pretty well every single reporter talking about, hey, the possibility of the Atlanta Hawks landing Pascal Siakam. Those things seem to dried out. Recent weeks we've heard that, or recent days, that the Pascal Siakam trade potential possibilities, they aren't out of the question. The Raptors haven't shut things down completely, but the escalations, the hype, it's sort of died off regarding those potential trade scenarios. And Brian Windhorst kind of echoed the sentiment on his Hoop Collective podcast today, basically indicating that a lot of what he's heard regarding the Atlanta Hawks trade discussions, everything that's coming out around their camp, their situations, have been, hey, they're looking for 3-team trades right now. Basically, rather than talking directly to the Toronto Raptors or different teams across the NBA, they're looking to piece together some wild packages, and directly said, Brian Windhorst saying, you know what I think about 3-team trades, implicating that they don't usually happen, right? There's a lot of pieces, there's a lot of things you got to keep happy, player or organizations, GMs, you have to keep happy, and they're just very difficult to sort of make. So unless the Atlanta Hawks can make a convoluted deal, I'd imagine that a potential holdup in this is the Toronto Raptors aren't that interested in DeAndre Hunter, where, he has some potential. He is a solid sort of guy, but we have OG Anunoby, we have Scotty Barnes that sort of play that position, same roles as DeAndre Hunter. So I don't know, maybe a 3rd team could come in. We'll see this smoke pop back up, but don't expect a trade from the Atlanta Hawks happen anytime soon. And Tim Bontemps on their, or Tim McMahon on their podcast essentially said that, hey, he doesn't expect that the Atlanta Hawks will be able to win any type of bidding war. Referencing the Toronto Raptors, it can be fairly inferred given all the reports and rumors we've heard around this situation. It's unlikely the Atlanta Hawks will be able to win a bidding war for any of these stars, including Pascal Siakam. So let me know what you guys think. Some people are still holding out hope for hope or excitement, or just looking forward to the the rookie sort of signing moratorium gone, basically when the player signed, right? Kobe Buffkin, who signed his contract with the Atlanta Hawks, ineligible to be traded for at least 30 days. So, once that deadline's up, some people are saying, oh, a blockbuster trade might go down. We'll see what ends up happening, but let me know what you guys think about that whole situation. The final thing we're discussing in this video is Dennis Schroder apologizing to his national teammate. And, for people that don't know, Dennis Schroder has been a bit of a legend over there in Germany, especially last FIBA action, just absolutely dominating over there in FIBA basketball. Ended up getting him back into the NBA after he had some missteps with the Boston Celtics as well as the Houston Rockets. Ended up getting picked up by the Lakers and really redeemed his value, last season, especially for a contract he ended up signing with the Toronto Raptors. So, Dennis Schroeder's an interesting piece. He picked up the Lakers last year and then stayed for the whole season. I'm mixing up my timelines there. I digress. He's a big German national team player, and he had some comments as we broke down in a recent video, basically calling out Maxi Kleber for not playing for the national team, and Maxi Kleber didn't take too kindly to it, basically saying his intention, his hopes, was to play for the national team in Germany, but given Dennis Schroeder's comments, he felt not welcomed by the team, by the national team sort of organization, and Schroeder ended up apologizing for his comments. Basically called Kleber, hey, you're not that guy. You don't need to be working in the gym training to be Carmelo Anthony. That's what Schroder said. Basically, he came out and said, "I would like to apologize to Maxi Kleber and his family for my statements and the inconvenience they caused. It was never my intention to put anyone in an awkward situation or upset on the team. My intention is just to stand up for my team and make it clear I would do anything for my team. All of this was never something personal against Maxi Kleber from my side. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a direct type and always assume that the person I'm talking to understands what I mean and what I say. But I have once again been shown that this is not always the case. I still appreciate and respect him and his career and hope he accepts my apologies." So, Kleber, there still hasn't been anything come out about him potentially going to play for Team Germany now that Schroder has apologized. But nice to see Schroder apologize after he did have a pretty harsh statement there for Maxi Kleber, roasting his game and all that type of stuff. But I don't know. Some Raptors drama, the newest Toronto Raptor. Should be interesting to see how he is as one of the vets in the locker room for this Raptors going forward this season. Said a lot of right things that have excited me, but then some of the off-the-court stuff, especially with this Kleber drama, has some Toronto Raptors fans worried, which I get. But let me know what you guys think about all this Toronto Raptors news. You guys are the best to make it as far. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. It means the world to us. We hit that 29,000 subscriber mark, so get the balloons playing at the end of the video for that. Thank you to all the folks that have subbed to the channel. We're on that road to 30K now at this point, so hit that sub button if you made it this far and you're still not subscribed. But anyways, you guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.